and having yourselves a fantastic night. I know that the Phillies lost today, but I gotta tell you, I'm really proud of how this team has been playing overall, and I have my own thoughts, and I have a lot that I have to say. But before I dive into everything, all right, first of all, if you are new here, welcome on in to Play by Play with JJ. That's the channel, but this is podcasting, Phillies podcasting today with JJ. Hit the thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button as well. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We go live for Phillies content, Sixers content, and Eagles content as well. So yes, all right. I want to get into the nuts and bolts of everything that I want to say because I have a lot on my mind. And last thing, join the Discord server. Okay, I am going to open that up in just a few minutes, but there are things that I need to get off my chest because I have not talked about this team off the play-by-plays, all right? We were doing a lot of stuff for the Sixers, and now we're ready to dive fully in to the Phillies. We're ready to dive in. And I kind of wanted to just give you all my opinions on what I've seen so far from this team this year and what I've liked and what I haven't liked. I have a whole list of things that I want to get into, and I think we'll start off with the positives. Okay, well, yeah, the season didn't start the way that we really wanted it to. They did not do a good job against the Atlanta Braves back in March into early April. That series, they were not prepared. Ever since then, though, really ever since April 9th, okay, I would say April 8th, really. Ever since April 8th against St. Louis, okay, this team has done a very good job at taking care of business. I know that they played against the Pittsburgh Pirates of the world, the Colorado Rockies, the Cincinnati Reds a couple of times as well. But I just think that this team has been doing such a good job at not playing down to their opponent, and they're winning these games because of their pitching and because of their hitting. It was more so the pitching first, and now it's been more about the bats, and the pitching has still been very phenomenal. Spencer Turnbull and the rest of the rotation at the time, they've all been doing a very good job for the most part. Taijuan Walker pitched in his last outing, and he looked really good out there. I know that Turnbull's is now back in the bullpen, but every single one of these pitchers has done a very good job up to this point. Aaron Nola today didn't have his best stuff. He should have been pulled a little bit earlier. I do believe that. But overall, this is much better compared to last year. Last year at this time, we were crushing this guy because he was trying to get used to the pitch clock, trying to get used to a lot of different things, and he sucked delivering from the stretch. He was atrocious. This year, he's been pretty solid overall, and I can't really be nitpicky about that. I will say from today's outing, he did not have a good outing. In that sixth inning, I really thought that he left the balls out over the middle of the plate, and he wasn't able to get a lot of breaking movement on his pitches, and that's why he was leaving pitches up. It looked like he was tired. It looked like he was fatigued, and he wasn't really getting the calls either. Kind of like Sir Anthony Dominguez, and I have some thoughts about the bullpen that I also want to get into. But Nola today didn't do a good job, but overall he's been a very big positive impact for this team. I like how this team has this mentality of, all right, we're going to have certain players that are going to go out there and execute and play at a very high level. And even though some of our bats may not be stepping up to the occasion now, just you wait. Bryce Harper starts off the season so cold. Trey Turner's hot. Alec Bohm is hot. Bohm is still hot and is doing a fantastic job. He's the best hitter on this team. But then all of a sudden, now Bryce Harper gets it going. JT Realmuto is starting to come around. Bryson Stott's starting to come around a little bit as well. And Alec is still staying hot. And guess what? Well, guess who hasn't joined in on the party just yet? Casty. Casty can... Once Castellanos starts feeling it, man, it's game over. It really is, because I feel like once he gets red hot, while all these other guys are hot, it's going to be really tough to beat this team. They're playing very good baseball. During the beginning of the year, they had some really bad plays on the bases before. They were making errors out in the field, and now it seems like that they've actually sort of come together and everything is gelling. Before, in the beginning of these wins, it was more about the pitching, the starting pitching, and less about the bullpen and less about the hitting, but now it's a mixture of all of those things, and I give this team credit. I've been really hard on Rob this year. I don't think he's pressed the right buttons at times, but I know that the players really do like him a lot. The hitters especially really do love him, and I will say this, he has done a very good job with utilizing the guys that he does have and giving them confidence. I do like that about him. I think that that's a very big strength when it comes to Rob Thompson. But where credit is due, I give him credit, but when I have to be hard, I have to be hard. Yeah. Let's talk about Trey Turner. Trey Turner starts off the year so hot, and then he gets injured. All right, he's going to be out for 6 weeks. Not a good injury. It sucks that he got injured on that play coming into home plate. It really does. He was being aggressive, did everything he had to do, and just got banged up. But I love how Bryce Harper is stepping up to the occasion now. You know, losing Trey Turner is a big loss. It really is. But I think that for the first time, this team actually has depth, especially in this lineup. Cody Clemens, it's a home run yesterday that goes 383 feet. He's been so hot. I know that today he didn't have a good day. But overall, he's been seeing the ball really well. And I had somebody in my comments today saying, well, what's going to happen if Cody stays hot and does a very good job during these 6 weeks? He shouldn't get called down. Dude, where are you going to put him in the field? Same thing with the Spencer Turnbull conversation. Okay, if Taijuan Walker's pitching really well and there's not a spot for him, yeah, I feel bad. Of course. Because as a player, if I was in their shoes, I want to compete. I want to play at a high level. I'm already playing at a high level and you're not giving me an opportunity? Man, I'd be bummed. But from an organizational standpoint, this is a phenomenal problem to have. I really like what this team is doing, and I can actually respect them for not just doing this and starting off the season in June, because that's boring. My goal for them coming into this year was to win the whole division and go to the World Series. They have the talent. They have everybody that you need to do that. They really do. This team is not afraid of the Braves. I know that they're going to show up in October. And I think that, honestly, there is a chip on their shoulder. And they do look like that they are really competing at a very high level. And I know it's against these teams that are lower echelon types of teams. You know, they're not as competitive as like the Dodgers or, I don't know, like the St. Louis Cardinals or the Atlanta Braves. But still, they're playing what's out in front of them, and they're doing everything in their power to just play good baseball. They swept the Giants. They swept them 4 games in a row. The one game, it was 14-3. I mentally just kicked my feet up. I was like, all right, next. I didn't want to do that, obviously, during the game. But mentally, I'm just thinking in the back of my mind, GG, I'm ready for the next game. These games are making me yawn as a fan. Not as a broadcaster, though. But, yeah. No, they've been playing good baseball. Ranger Suarez has looked really good out of the starting rotation. I love this kid. I think that he's such an incredible competitor. I really do. Every time he goes out there and he is on that mound, he reminds me of Cliff Lee with just attacking that strike zone. You watch his pitch count, and you'll see 89 pitches. About 64 of them are going to be for strikes. Or sometimes he'll give you 95 pitches, and yet like 20 of them are just balls, like 75 strikes. That's who he is. There's a comebacker up the middle. No worries, I got it. I got it. I'm gonna throw it over to first base. Oh, Bryce, you need me to go cover first because you're like way off the bag and you're trying to play the ball on the ground. It was bunted over to you. No worries, I got it. I love him, man. Ranger Suarez is absolutely incredible, and he's been my favorite player to watch on this team this year from just a pitching perspective. Who else, man? Spencer Turnbull has been phenomenal. I love what he's been able to do, the versatility that he has. Think about a guy that comes from Detroit, okay? It's not pitching in meaningful games. He's just out there. He's their ace. You know, he's stepping up, man. And I think that Caleb Cotham and this pitching staff has done a very good job working with him because they saw that he had some talent and they changed up a couple of things about his mechanics. He's throwing more off-speed pitches now than what I saw before. And the fastball is being located in the perfect spots. Okay, he's not going to overpower you with pitches. He just understands now. Him and JT are on the same page, but him and Caleb and the rest of the pitching coaching staff, they're all on the same page. And they know exactly what he's going to throw, where he's going to throw it, and what he's going to utilize in every single situation. And he has shown me that he's a warrior. That's what he's shown me. I didn't expect that. I really did not expect that. He's been great. And I also think that he's done a very good job, too. Now, Christopher Sanchez has been an interesting one because anybody would say Christopher Sanchez is a 4 or a 5, but he's pitching like a 3, man. He is. Rangers pitching like a 2. Or possibly a 1. Like, they have very good pitchers on this team. And the depth that they have, that hasn't happened in quite some time. On both sides. Offensively and pitching-wise. The bullpen's been another story. Okay? The bullpen's been another story. Junior Marte started off really well. But my gosh, is Sir Anthony Dominguez really struggling. I feel bad for the guy. I really do. I think something needs to change. I know that they can't send him down because he's out of options, but it's a shame because he fires really fast. And even today, I could see that some of the time he wasn't getting the calls. Some of the pitches he thought was maybe going to be on the outside corner, but he's just a little bit off. And when you're not getting the calls, it's like in basketball, when you don't see the ball go through the hoop, your confidence goes down. It's the same exact analogy. And I get that. But I'm hoping that he can battle through this. I don't think that the Phillies should drop him or anything like that. I think that they got to wait it out. But, man, I've been disappointed with him so far. I did think that he was going to have a very good season, and so far I've been pretty underwhelmed with what he's been able to provide. Alvarado, I expect him to step up. I do. I think that Jose, I know the ZRA right now is at a 4.3. I think it's going to go down. Some people say that Jeff Hoffman should close. I still think that this guy is their best pitcher out of the bullpen when all was said and done. And that's no disrespect to Jeff Hoffman at all whatsoever because Hoffman has been great. But I've seen Jose Alvarado fire 101 miles per hour and then throw a slider that comes in at 97, 96, and then a cutter on top of that. He does a very good job. Can he, even though he's not getting the speed that he once was on his pitches, can he start to locate the pitches in better spots? That kind of remains to be seen. I think that over his last maybe 4 outings before the last one where he allowed a home run in the 9th, I think that he overall has been doing a much better job, but it's still not the lights-out Alvarado that we were used to seeing last year and even the year before that. and I think it'll come back. I do, but it's definitely going to take some time. Orion Kerkerink. Let's talk about Orion. Orion has been okay. Look, he started off the season with an injury. Okay, it took him a little bit of time for him to come back. This is sort of like a spring training. The one outing that he had against the Angels, I thought that he had really good stuff. That was when he had 2 strikeouts. He was firing at 100 miles per hour. He can hit 100. Once he's hitting 100 and he's able to just paint his pitches on the corners, he's another guy out of this bullpen that can be very, very dangerous. It's just that I don't know what it is, but the bullpen for this team, I think part of it has to do with the adjustments that Rob makes, the in-game adjustments during the games where he's not putting his best pitchers at times in the right spots. Other times he is. But when bases are loaded, or for example today, Matt Strom comes in with runners over at first and second, well, guess what? You're putting him in a situation where he has to get out of it, and you're just basically saying, all right, Matt, it's your turn. When really, in all actuality, you should have pulled Aaron Nola out an inning before that, because you could see that his pitches were starting to dip a little bit and starting to flatten out. So he wasn't getting that oomph on those pitches. And once you start to notice that, as a manager, you got to be ready to make those changes. So I didn't think that Strom was utilizing the best spot today. Thought that he had to sort of clean up Aaron Nola's mess. And this bullpen at times has had to do that. But other times, the bullpen has been pretty good. And they've been a mixture of things. The other example I'll give you about an example of bad bullpen management is when the Phillies were tied. I forget which team it was. I think it was against the Reds. It was like 1-1. And then, out of all people, he decides to go with Connor Brogdon. Brogdon walks 3 batters, loads the bases, still keeps Brogdon out there as it's in extra innings, and then a grand slam is hit. Why are we leaving Connor Brogdon out there? Now, eventually he gets let go of, but I'm just saying that's just terrible management of the bullpen, not in that spot. And I know that he's a player's coach, and he says, well, I need these guys to figure it out. But that's just not the right time and the right place and the right situation to do that. I've been critical about Rob with those things, and I do think that could, and I hate to say this, but that could be a bad thing moving forward. And that's something that I really am keeping my eye on this year, because part of the reason why they did lose in the NLCS is because of the poor decisions that Rob was making. Game 4 specifically, we all know what happened. We're not going to go back in history. We're not going to dwell on it. But I am saying that is still something that I still keep in the back of my head, because that could be something to look out for as this team moves further down the road. Who else out of the bullpen? I like Jose Ruiz. I thought Junior Marte was doing such a good job and was arguably the 3rd or the 2nd best pitcher out of the bullpen right before he went on the injured list. And credit to him, man. A guy that's been here for a little bit of time and didn't really think that he would be able to figure it out, and he has. Or he was. And I thought he was doing such a good job. So credit to him. Hopefully he gets back and healthy soon, because that's another piece out of the bullpen that honestly was really huge so far this season. He was one of your best pieces. So I like that, and I really like him. What else do I want to say before I go to the phones and talk to you guys? Yeah, in regards to today's game, I'll be honest, I'm not really underwhelmed. I'm not really disappointed. I do wish that I know that they had opportunities to try to tie the game. I wish that in the 9th inning that they would have been able to tie it up. That would have been so nice. But the offense is not going to come through every single game, and I get that. This team has honestly put up, they have put up like 40 runs over the last 5 games. 40 runs over the last 5 games. It's a lot. It's a lot, man. It really is. That's pretty wild. They actually had put up, I think, 38. But still, that still is a lot. But yeah, am I worried about what happened today? No, I'm not. I know that Bryce is going to bounce back. I know that he was really frustrated because he ended the inning almost every single time he was up to bat. That's why Bohm lead it off almost every single inning. But I think that he'll bounce back. And Bryce is a very good competitor. He really is. I'm so happy he's on our team. He's a great leader. He really is. What else, man? What else? What else did I want to say? Whit Merrifield. Starting to come around a little bit. I do wish now that Trey's out, how I would go about it is put Bryson at the shortstop, and put Whit over at second. Put Bryson at his position, man. He's just a great athlete. There's no reason why. The one thing I got really mad at, or a little bit annoyed with Rob today, is he kept Cody Clemens in there at second base. That's not his natural position, Rob. Okay, there was a bloop single that literally went over Cody Clemens' head. And I'm not saying that Cody didn't try, because of course he did. He did. And Bryson did a good job of backing them up, even though Cody wasn't able to make the catch. That ball gets by Cody, and Bryson's not there. That's probably a double, or even possibly a triple. But my point is that in that spot, okay, you can have Cody come in to pinch hit, but if he's not naturally a second baseman, why are we putting him there when we have Whit Merrifield? You know? That to me is just common sense. That did annoy me today, but, you know, you take it as it comes. I didn't like Castellanos batting in the cleanup spot the other day, but even though they put up 10 runs. This lineup, man, when everybody's fully healthy, this team is something. They really are. They love playing with each other. They support each other's backs. This is honestly the best group of guys I've seen in a very long time. They have each other's backs. They're playing with a lot of energy. Bohm's making incredible plays over at third. Johan Rojas is commanding center field like it's literally his own ground. And I love that. I know he's made a couple of mistakes. He did make a couple of mistakes in that Giants series. But overall, he's been phenomenal defensively. Nick Castellanos giving it his all. Even though he doesn't have the most speed in the world, he's still making a lot of diving catches. Still making some really good throws. I really like what the way that this team is made up. I think that they have the expectation for them should be win the division and go to the World Series. That's how it should be. That's where the bar is for me. All right? Am I being too strong? Am I being am I being light? Am I being too nice? Let me know. But they have a lot of fun, and they're playing with a lot of fire. All right, let's open up the phones, and let's open up the chats. All right, so let's, first of all, let's go over here. If you guys are new, make sure you guys like and subscribe and hit the bell icon, baby. All right, so let's start the event. Do that right now, and again, I will post that link right now, so that way you guys can join, baby. All right, so there's the link. Whoops. What the heck did I just do? What the heck happens? What the heck? What the heck? Okay, I'll share the event one more time. Have you guys come on here and give your thoughts, man. All right, so there we go. What's up, Daniel? How you doing? Bruce, what's up, man? Do you feel Kerkering will be a superstar or at least a star relief pitcher for us? I do. I think that Orion has really good stuff. I think he needs to work on one more pitch. I do. I think he needs one more breaking pitch, especially against these lefties, because sometimes I noticed that left-handed hitters have been able to get a hold of the fastball when he's just throwing the slider and the fastball, and he's not attacking with another type of an off-speed pitch. I think that needs to be something that he does work on. And maybe that's not necessarily a now thing. Maybe that's more as, after this season here. But I could definitely see that being a downfall in regards to this season when you're putting him in high leverage moments. And I love him. I think that he has a lot of really good stuff. And for him to work up the system the way that he did, credit to him. This team is dogs. This team is competitors, man. And like I said, they're a lot of fun to watch when everything is going their way. When they make really good plays out in the field. You know, you see Brandon Marsh going over to third base and literally just giving Garrett Stubbs the binoculars. Like, come on, man. You see, after Christian Pache gets a walk-off RBI single, okay, he gets the Gatorade poured on him. Everybody's jamming out to different types of music during the post-game shows. Like, you hear music going on in the backgrounds. Like, come on. I want to be a part of that environment. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool stuff. It really is. It's enjoyable, and it's fun. It's relaxing. Nick Castellanos hits his first home run of the season the other day, and everybody in the dugout is high-fiving him. And shout out to Alex Coffey for obviously covering the Phillies, doing a really good job at the Philadelphia Inquirer. But, man, the stories that she writes, and you can literally just hear from the interviews that she's able to get how happy everybody really is playing with one another and how much every single teammate loves each other. There's something to that. And she even said in the article that Nick Castellanos was surprised because everybody was more happy than even he was after he got his first home run. That's love, man. That's a bond. And that's so unique. And they pick each other up, you know? I love that. Absolutely love that. Jose says, keep an eye on the Phillies and the Braves. It's going to be a dogfight these next couple of weeks. Absolutely. Absolutely, it is going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a dogfight throughout the rest of the season, okay? And every game matters. Michael Barkan, about 2 weeks ago, there was a tweet by NBC Sports Philadelphia, and Barkan was looking at the Braves game, and he was like, oh, the Braves won another game, so now the Phillies are a half game behind them. And, on Twitter, of course, like, they're kind of poking fun, and they're like, come on, it's like the beginning of the year, type of a thing, and they're just messing around with him. And it was funny, but in all seriousness, every game does matter. Because if you're in a tight race at the very end of the year, you may look back on the game on May 7th and been like, you know what, you should have won that game. Today is May 8th, but I'm just saying. I go back to the 2021 year. Giants and Dodgers for that division. Giants ended up winning that division by 1. They had like 108 wins. The Dodgers had 107. Dodgers win one of those games that they lost. Giants lose one of those games that they should have ended up losing, but they won. They're tied. That matters. So, the long story short of this whole spiel here is that I just think that every single game does matter, and they need to keep attacking and get as many wins as they can, because the Braves are pretty much every single year a 100-win baseball club. I want the division. I want the World Series. But I want that division. I want to take that division from the Braves and snatch it out of their hands. They did that to the Mets a couple of years ago. Mets were so hot, and all of a sudden, they start cooling down. Braves shine up, and now they're playing in meaningful games. It's on Monday Night Baseball. Both teams are tied the last week. Braves win that game, and they end up winning the division. I want them to know what it feels like to not win the division. That's how I feel. Get me a division title and get me to the World Series, because I think a bye could actually help this team. I do. Some people don't like it. I think that the bye could help them. So, what's up, DFJ? How you doing, my guy? Thanks so much for popping in here. Appreciate that, man. I really do. And again, if you guys want to come on to the Discord and if you guys want to give your thoughts about the Phillies, you're more than welcome to do so. This team has been a lot of fun to cover. And I actually got a little bit worried because obviously I cover the team no matter what. But, you know, Sixers season ended a little bit earlier than I thought it was going to. And I was thinking to myself, oh, well, Phillies better be, you know, winning games, or else it's going to be a long season. And obviously we're in it, ride or die. But I'm just saying that it's really nice that we do have a team that's playing overall very solid baseball. Bryce Harper hits a grand slam the other day. This place is rocking. The Sixers wish that they had this type of an atmosphere. They do. The fact that you're able to get 38,000 people on a weekday at 4 o'clock p.m. on a Monday, that's really good. It really is. So, they're getting playoff atmospheres, even during the weekdays. And this town is a football and a baseball town, and it's really showing. You know? So, give the fans a lot of credit there. What's up, Mitch? How you doing, man? What are your thoughts about the Phillies so far? Have you started watching them? Let me know what you have to say about this team and what your thoughts are. Last point I wanted to make is this. I didn't get to talk about Zach Wheeler. And there's a reason why. The reason why is because he's just Zach Wheeler. He's just Zach Wheeler. I believe he has a chance to win the Cy Young this year. I do. I think he'll get his first Cy Young possibly this year. The stuff that he throws is just so electric. You can pencil him in as a guy that's going to go 6 to 7 innings. Works out of jams, does a very good job, and his stamina is just so good. Really is. Even if he gets deep into counts, he does a really good job. As I look over at the scoreboard and I see that it's now 12 to 11 at this time of recording. It's 12 to 11 Texas in the bottom of the ninth. Oakland's up to bat. They have a runner over at second with 2 outs. Oh my gosh. 12 to 11. That's just insane. But anyhow, I got a little bit distracted there. But, yeah, I'm really proud of this team. Today's loss, and they split the series. And they end their 7-game winning streak and their 9-game home winning streak, whatever it is. They'll get it back. This team is really, really good. I criticized Dave Dombrowski for not going after Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery. I expected one of them to come. But this team right now is playing really well. And I can't really be complaining. All right. That's the end of what I have to say. All right. If you guys want to come on in the future, if you want to hop onto the Discord, you're more than welcome to. Just join the Discord server. It is in the description down below. Thank you all for those of you that have tuned in live. And if you didn't tune in live, well, I appreciate you for watching this anyways. I really do. You guys mean so much to me. I love you all so much. And I will catch you all on the next one. Go Fightins.